Hello there and welcome to Rajiv Gandhi IS Academy Daily News Analysis. And today I will be discussing about 23rd December news. So moving on with the first news. The first news is that UNSC adopt resolution to ease Afghan assistance. Means they are giving some aid to Afghanistan or the Taliban, which is currently controlling Afghanistan. And Taliban called this move as a good step. So what is this UNSC? We all know that United Nations Security Council. India is also a part of this and a member of that. So, what are the different news and aspect of this? Let us cover this. So, what are the key points? So, the United Nations Security Council on Wednesday unanimously passed a resolution that it will permit a carve out in sanction which were against the Taliban to facilitate delivery of humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. And what kind of things it will help? So, it will help in relieving human suffering, including activities like shelter, settlement assistance, food security, education, livelihood support, energy, water, sanitation, health, and including COVID related assistance, nutrition, hygiene, and many others kind of humanitarian assistance can be given to Afghanistan when this aid will be received by it and the sanction will be removed from it. And the Taliban welcomed this step and said that the Taliban spokesperson on Wednesday praised the UN Security Council resolution regarding this, and they hope that the international community will also speed up efforts for the financial sanction of Islamist of Taliban or the Afghan nation. And moving on with the news, what are the different backgrounds regarding Afghanistan and what's India's role in this? So the USA signed a deal with Taliban that paved the way for withdrawal of USA troop, and it was a two-phase process. First was a phase withdrawal of US troop and then a intra-Afghan dialogue. So this phase withdrawal of US troop happened so hastily. So the intra-Afghan dialogue also didn't happen, and Taliban took control of the Kabul city or the capital. And the deal is a fundamental step to deliver a comprehensive and permanent ceasefire for the future roadmap for Afghanistan peace process. So we all know that 20 years of war were going on between USA and Taliban, and now USA has withdrawn his forces, and now Taliban is controlling Afghanistan. So moving on with the news, what are the India's interest in Afghanistan? So India has a major stake in Afghanistan because India have make many kind of infrastructure in Afghanistan, like Afghan Parliament was made by India, Zalans Dilram Highway is made by India. So this Zalans Dilram Highway, and it basically connect Chabahar port of Iran to Central Asia. And there was this plan to connect this to Kabul and move on to the Central Asia, but till now from Zaranj to Dalran it is being made. And Afghanistan is also a gateway to Central Asia, because if we want access to Central Asia we must have to cross Afghanistan. So these are the thing, and different infrastructure project has been done by India. For example, a 20-kilometer road, this much road was developed by India. A 220 kilowatt kilovolt transmission line was developed by India. And these all kind of thing, like for example Indira Gandhi Institute of Child Health and were developed in India, hospital was developed. And now also in this COVID times, India has given different kind of medicine and COVID diplomacy, provided COVID diplomacy to Afghanistan. So moving on, what is India's stand to this whole Afghanistan and Taliban thing? So India believes in a peace process which should be Afghan led, Afghan owned, and Afghan controlled. So peace process by India should be all these three, and it respects the national sovereignty and territorial integrity of Afghanistan. And it also needs to preserve the progress which are happening in Islamic Republic of Afghanistan for the establishment of democracy. And also India is interested in minorities, women, and rebel section of the society. And also Indian embassy and Indian companies should be protected. And India supports the independence and sovereignty of Afghanistan. And also, India do not want Pakistan's ISI, that is inter-service intelligence, the service intelligence system of army or the Pakistan per se, to control Afghanistan. So India is also making its move very cautiously when it comes to Afghanistan. And what are the issues involved with India's and Afghanistan relationship? So Taliban link with ISI is one of the issue, and Haqqani network is one of the issue, because it can ISI can use Haqqani network against India. So these are kind of issues which India is facing. And India have to access Afghanistan through Pakistan. So this is also a issue, because whenever going by land or by sea, India have to cross the Pakistani water lines. And also India by road, India have to cross Pakistan. Although Pakistan has said agreed for providing Indian trucks for giving relief to Afghanistan, but still that is a limited time access. And also Taliban has linked with Jaish-e Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba, who are being various terrorist activities in India. And India does not still recognize Taliban. However, the options are still open, and India is looking for talk with them, so that they can see over the things which are happening over there. And so this was all about the issue that UNSC currently gave. Said removed some of the sanctions which were imposed on Afghanistan led Taliban led Afghanistan. And what are there for India, we have discussed. So moving on with the next news. So India gives 1 million doses to Myanmar. We currently know that Myanmar was toppled by the military, and Aung San Suu Kyi was forced to live in exile. So not in exile, means in house arrest. She was forced to live. And currently Myanmar is controlled by military powers. And now India is also making progress, so that the democracy within the military design is happened and is established, because Myanmar is a crucial connectivity when it's come to relation between India and the southeastern region. And between and also the hegemony of China should be controlled. So Myanmar plays a very crucial role for India. So what are the things regarding this news? So key points are that India gave 1 million dose of COVID-19 vaccine to Myanmar. And a law and order situation is going on after the military takeover. And Myanmar was one of the first few countries alongside Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal that received Covishield vaccine from Serum Institute of India under the part of Vaccine Maitri initiative. So now we will be dealing about COVID diplomacy. So during what happened during COVID wave, that India provided many kind of relief assistance like HCQ and PPE kit, and also vaccine to poor nation. So that is COVID diplomacy, popularly known as COVID diplomacy. And there is Vaccine Maitri initiative under COVID diplomacy, which deals with the giving of vaccine to the poor countries or the neighboring countries. So moving on with the news. So what is this vaccine Maitri? It is the use of vaccine to increase countries' diplomatic relationship with other countries. We are using vaccine for the diplomatic relationship. That is primarily vaccine Maitri. Maitri in Hindi is friendship. So friendship, which is based on vaccine, is vaccine Maitri. And India is supplying made in India COVID-19 vaccine to neighboring and key partners country. And also vaccine will be supplied to the partner countries in phased manner. So these are the things under vaccine Maitri program. And moving on, what are India vaccine diplomacy program? So shipment have been given to Maldives, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, and Seychelles. Where is Seychelles? It's a country in Indian Ocean, close to Africa. So with this, please tell us in the comment section that where is this Seychelles. And India has a good relationship with Seychelles also. And in case of Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and Mauritius, India is awaiting their confirmation, because Afghanistan, as we already said, that hard times are there. Sri Lanka is currently going in the control of China, and Mauritius is still not nodded for this COVID vaccine. So what are these? The India is awaiting for their confirmation, and India has make an effort for giving them. And the only exception in India's regional vaccine delivery would be Pakistan, because Pakistan has cleared AstraZeneca vaccine for use, and also neither requested nor discussed any doses from India. So these were all the things regarding COVID, India's vaccine diplomacy plan. And what are the importance of India's vaccine diplomacy program? So first importance is strategic importance, because it will definitely earn some long time goodwill. And whenever we are covering international relations, there is this India's neighborhood first initiative is one of the most important factor when international relation is concerned. So India is giving vaccines to its neighborhood. So India's neighborhood first initiative is also taking care of this in India's vaccine diplomacy. And also India have to have an advantage over China. So because in China, and China, due to its expansionist policy, is a very kind of security threat and also economic threat for India. So India have to have an advantage over China. So all this kind of multilateral dialogue are happening. So if a country is taking vaccine from China, India, so definitely it will have a good relationship with India compared to China. And also there is this leverage over Western countries, because affluent Western countries like in US and Europe are focused only on their problems, and so India wants to have shift the focus to developing countries problem. So this kind of thing will also leverage over Western countries. And moving on, there is this economic aspect also, because this will make India a global supply center. And manufacturing industry of pharmaceuticals will boost up in India. And also thus this will help in reviving economy in long term, like GDP will also grow up. And as the corona vaccines will go up, different things together with that will be linked with those country. So it will also help in reviving the economy of the India. So and also it will disrupt vaccine nationalism. See, after this COVID pandemic, this vaccine nationalism is also a major debate. So what is happening is that vaccine nationalism is a mechanism through which a country managed to secure doses for its own citizen, means for its own people only, and prioritize its own domestic market. So and other countries are not preferred. So the different, through different pre-purchase arrangement or with vaccine manufacturer, they are doing this. So this will give a drawback to vaccine nationalism, because India will now focus that everyone should be getting the vaccine, regardless of the economic situation or the geographical location of the country. So this will put a setback to vaccinating nationalism, which is the need of the hour, because this is a global disease. And this should be tackled globally, not individually by a nation. So and also this will facilitate global collaboration, as I have said, because different countries will be involved in this. And similarly WHO will also be involved with this. So this will create a kind of global collaboration atmosphere throughout India's neighboring country. So moving on, and the next news, that Indian Army inducts indigenously built Aervs. What are these Aerv? These are armored engineers reconnaissance vehicle. And so, what are the major news regarding to this? We will be discussing it. So the first key point is that the first batch of next generation armored engineer consignment vehicle, that is AERV, is indigenously designed and developed by DRDO. Indigenously means most of the parts or most of the assembling has been done in India itself. For this AERV, 90% of the development is done in India itself. So AERV is capable of measuring soil bearing capacity on river banks to determine if they are motorable or for military vehicles on no go basis. Means suppose if a river is there and a military contingent is crossing it, so this kind of vehicle will analyze the river belt or river bank, that can the soil bear the capacity of those vehicles or not. So this was much needed, because definitely due to different geographical location to which Indian militaries are sent within India or outside India also. So ARV can navigate terrain using military grid coordinate system, measure and plot underwater beds and water currents of rivers and canals. And this can definitely store data from various instruments on control console for further analysis. So not only they will just analyze it, but can also store data for further analysis, so that we do not have to repeat the process. So these were the key points developed by the AERV, that is armored engineer reconnaissance vehicle. So moving on with the Indianization of the military in India. So what are the present fact. So presently, Ines Vikrant was indigenously produced, and Bark and DRDO also indigenously made a nuclear submarine which is known as Arihant, and also HAL, that is yeah, helicopters. I'm forgetting this. HAL Aerospace Limited, something is there. Hindustan Aerospace Limited. Sorry for that. Hindustan Aerospace Limited, along with Taneja Aerospace and Aviation Limited, is developing Dhruv multi-role helicopter and light combat helicopter. So, and these all are indigenously built, and DRDO is also currently working on unmanned aerial vehicle, that is a kind of drone, which is known as Nishant. So, and different kind of missiles development program are also being done, which are totally indigenous, that is Akash, with this for surface to surface. Prithvi, Akash is for surface to air. Prithvi is for surface to surface. Nag is an anti-tank missile. Trishul is a naval version of Prithvi. That is, it will from naval base to naval base it will work on. And Agni is a ballistic missile having different ranges. So this kind of indigenous development has already been done in India when it comes to when it comes to the defense sector. So moving on, what are the challenges in defense sector? What are the challenges in Indianization of defense sector? So the first challenge is private sector participatory is very low, and currently only DRDO and some defense PSU are there. So there is this land acquisition problem also, and also there is nothing like permanent arbitration committee for land disputes resolution. So these are the things which is holding private participation in this. And second issue with the indigenization is the manufacturing and procurement related delay, because there are some bureaucratic hurdles and political hurdles due to which manufacturing and procurement related delay can happen in India. So it also, if that would happen, that was also in hurt India's image as a trusted supplier, because if someone is not giving the defense project in the given deadline, so that will also give a kind of what we can say bad image for India. And also there is this conflict between manufacturing and defense forces, because defense forces being on the ground of the battlefield known as the border areas demand some specific design, and manufacturers may not be knowing those kind of design. So this kind of thing can also be a conflict, and this can also definitely this kind of things is also a challenges when it comes to Indianization of defense sector. And also many of the fourth and the last challenge, although not the last, but the fourth challenges is that most of the Indian defense budget goes towards salary and retirement benefits, perk and all that. But and so the real development and what we call say R&D sector, research and development sector of these kind of defense is not happening. So this is also a withdraw, or we can say challenge of the indigenization of defense sector. So moving on with the first next news, that there's this as we all know, there's this change to marriage age is happening, and it's from 18 it's been changed to 21. But there are different contradiction happening to that law, because it will definitely contradict many others law in which the child age is taken as 18. So what are the key points with this news? So the amendment proposed to anti-child marriage law defines a child as someone under the age of 21. So the child is defined as under the age of 21. Previously it was 18, and so it contradicts law where the legal age of competence is 18. And experts say that this may criminalize young people, and it amends the definition of child, means a male or female who has not completed 21 years of age. So previously it was 18 years of age was a child, now 21 years of age will be a child. So although government has done it for just for marriage purpose, but the different laws are there which will be contradictory to this. So what kind of personal laws it is contradicting? It overrides personal laws of Hindu, Christian, Muslims, Parsi, as well as a special marriage act. So all this kind of law is been contradicted by this bill, and there are also many different laws which are being contradicted. We will see that in soon. So the list of the laws which are being contradicted are like following. First one is 61st Constitutional Amendment Act of 1988, which defines the voting age from to 18. Previously it was 21, and at the time of Rajiv Gandhi in 1988 it was done through 61st Constitutional Amendment to 18. And there is this also Majority Act 1875 that defines what is majority and what is minority when it comes to age. So that defines 18 as the minority, and above 18 is the majority age. So that will also contradict that. And the most important thing which is it is contradicting is Protection of Child from Sexual Offense Act, that is POSCO Act. So POSCO Act is the backbone of a backbone of Indian laws when it comes to safety of child, or especially in sexual harassment cases. So in that the age is of consent is set as 18, and so it will also overrule that. And the age so it's not still clear that should the age of consent will also be changed, because there it is 18 and the age of consent for marriage will be 21. So there is this mismatch between these two kind of laws, contradiction between these two kind of laws. So how government is planning to make this kind of thing, that is still not clear. And the fourth one which it contradicts is Juvenile Justice Care and Protect Act 2015. So in this also the juvenile or the child is defined as in 18 years. So if someone is someone of age lower than 18 years is committing a crime, it will be it will be tried in juvenile court. So now if 21 years of age is done for kids, and the definition of kid is done for 21 years, so will it be changed to 21 years also? Will this juvenile term will also change to 21 years also? So these kind of things are still not clear. So that's why the government has agreed also for a kind of debate on this kind of thing. And also this kind of thing will be referred to a standing committee, and will be scrutinized over there. Because as we have seen, there are many laws which is contradicting to this kind of things, and the government is still not clear what should be done with regarding this law. So moving on, so the in concise we can see that these are the laws. First is Majority Act, 61st Constitutional Amendment Act, POSCO Act, right, and also Right to Education Act. The age is 14. So kid is defined there in 14. And also Child Labor Amendment Act, age is 14, and adolescent is age between 14 and 81. So now if the government is planning to change to adolescent from 14 to 21, so these kind of things are still not clear. So that's why these are being referred to a recommendation committee also, and a debate will happen. And if something is happening, government will definitely come with a new plan, and we will be definitely discussing on that also. And the next news, which is that Israel PM meets US National Security Advisor, and uh, regarding the sanction over Iran. So what are different key points regarding this news? Let us discuss that. So the US National Security Advisor, that is NSA, for example, in India it is Ajit Doval, and USA I don't know the name. Sorry for that. You can Google it and please tell us in the comment section. And so US National Security Advisor held talks on Wednesday with Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, who warned the negotiation in Vienna on Iran's nuclear program had profound ramification for Israel's security. What was happening is that previously in Donald Trump administration, different sanctions were applied on Iran. Now this Joe Biden administration is planning to remove those kind of sanction. So Israel, because we all know Israel is in the Middle East, and the only non-Arab country in the Middle East per se. So Israel will this will create a problem with Israel, as said by the Prime Minister of Israel. And so Bennett government has remained firmly opposed to ongoing international effort to revive a 2015 accord that saw Iran agree to curbs on its nuclear activities in exchange of sanction relief. So the sanction there are many relief sanction been imposed on Iraq, after 2015 when Trump administration came to power. So this kind of thing are Israel is firmly opposing this kind of thing. So moving on with the news. So what is the background regarding this? So Iran earlier had several sanctions imposed on it by USA, UN, and other Western world. These sanctions were removed because of PF 5+1 negotiation. This negotiation was happening, party of 5+1 negotiation, and different sanctions were removed. And after Trump, US has imposed new sanction on Iran unilateral. Of course, this sanction will be unilateral because Iran would not be ready for this kind of sanction. So this happened unilaterally. So what's in it for India? So what is India's response to this sanction? India is definitely taking ties with its extended neighbor, because Iran is an extended neighbor and we shared years of cultural and geographical and economical also kind of relation with Iran. And also the removal of sanction on Iran following the nuclear deal ended its isolation and enabled its return to economic and diplomatical mainstream. And also sorry, this thing is not there. This was regarding the current visit. And also how this sanction impacted India Iran relation. So bilateral ties took a beating during sanction years, because in during sanction year this was not happening. And India has voted against Iran at the IAEA, that is International Atomic Energy Agency, over its clandestine nuclear program, and under pressure from US slashed oil imports from country. So previously India was taking a huge oil from Iran, and it has decreased after the sanction were removed, and the imports were decreased by 40%. And New Delhi has also backed off a pipeline project. Previously, a pipeline project was going to happen through Chabahar port and if, through Iran and Pakistan. So New Delhi has also backed off from that kind of thing. So and also the next thing is that why Iran is important for India. So till sanctions were imposed on Iran, it was India's second largest source of crude oil after Saudi Arabia. And the once the Chabahar port in Iran is developed, it will offer India alternative access to landlocked Afghanistan by passing Afghanistan, Pakistan. And both Iran and India share goal of a stable government in Kabul. So Kabul is a kind of a common goal for India and Iran, because both of them want a stable government there. So this kind of thing connect India and Iran. And also this is not required. I'm sorry for that. So these are the things. So thank you for today's watching this. And uh, please subscribe to our Telegram channel and as well as YouTube channel. And we are also covering a geography series, so have a watch on that also. Thank you.